Minnesota. Welcome everyone to this 2K Sports Broadcast live from downtown Minneapolis. Last game for the Warriors, they pick up the W against the Grizzlies in Memphis.
Their percentage from long range in that game was off the charts. It seemed like anytime the fans got a little hostile, they just started to take it up a notch from beyond.
The bombs were really falling, weren't they? I mean, great shooting, especially when you consider it was on the road.
Now a chance, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. The starting five on the field. Just under 3.5 minutes gone here in the first quarter. Now here's Curry. He's guarded closely. Nobody near Barnes. Good, and Curry gets the assist. It's all knotted up. Well, you think about Stephen Curry, and your first thought is he's a remarkable three-point shooter. That's right. But he's not just a long-range threat.
Yeah, I see him as a shot maker, one of the league's top mid-range shooters off the pull-up, too, and he's a creative finisher. Floaters and backspin shots, English, high off the glass. Again, the best shot maker, I think, in the history of the game.
And that one's good, Pekovic.
You can't give him that shot. A few open looks are all it takes to get him in the zone.
Out to the right wing. From about 16, Ezeli can't get it to go. For Minnesota, they've gone 5 of 12 from the field since the opening tip. Now here's Freak. He's covered by Thompson. Here's Pekovic. Curry with the steal. 1:32 left to play in the first. Thompson with it. Now defended by Muhammad. Thompson with the bucket.
Don't take your eyes off of him because he can make plays from multiple spots on the floor. Put the isolated cam on him.
Now let's find out what head coach Steve Kerr had to say to Doris Burke. Doris?
Kevin, I asked what part of their offensive scheme he feels most confident in today, and he said it's probably the depth of perimeter shooting talent that they've got. He said our guys can flat out shoot it, and you're going to see it today. Gentlemen?
Doris, thank you. You know, Clark, hard to create spacing without the three.
I agree there. I mean, I'd say it's almost impossible with the size and speed of players in this day and age.
Down low, out of bounds, Golden State takes possession. You know, these are the guys you need to be aware of. If you don't want your pocket picked, here are last season's steals leaders. Steph Curry fourth.
He showed such tremendous defensive instincts. Trust me, nobody wanted him guarding them last year.
And Thompson kicks to Spates. Back to Thompson. They set the pick. Pass to Curry. Lets it go from deep.
The hoop, he doesn't miss many of those.
Out of bounds, Golden State takes possession.
That is just a careless turnover. You've got to be smarter in those exchanges.
Anderson Varejão's checked in for Ezeli. The Minnesota Timberwolves come into this one after the win against the Charlotte Hornets.
You know, they played well enough to win, but to be honest with you, I just felt like their opponent's defensive performance was shaky at best.
Yeah, I'd go along with that, Greg. I mean, the game wasn't handed to them, but they definitely didn't have to work as hard for it as they should have.
Here's Freak. The Timberwolves again can't hit. Curry. No good trying to beat the buzzer. And they're scoring pretty well as we conclude the first quarter. Warriors lead by 5. And will return shortly. And Steph Curry, a player within the gym range. He told us about his comfort stretching the floor.
Anywhere 5-6 feet outside that three-point line, if I have a dribble, if I catch and shoot, if I have a good look, I think Coach will allow me to take that shot. And it's tough to guard, especially when you see a couple go in. That basket gets a lot bigger.
I was going to say, Greg, how big must that hoop look to Steph Curry and tough to guard?
whether or not he's the best shooter ever. And listen, I can imagine there's very few times that Coach Kerr is not going to allow this splash brother to let her rip.
And now the second quarter just getting set to start. And taking a quick look here, guys, at the hustle stats for the Warriors.
And it's been about their defense. They're playing with a frenetic pace, putting a lot of pressure on the ball handlers and forcing turnovers.
You know, another thing they've done well, guys, this first half is challenge shooters and change shots. A bunch of block shots early.
So on the floor for Golden State to begin this second quarter. Iguodala and Green are set at the forward spots. It's the Splash Brothers, Curry and Thompson at the guard spots. And it's Verajao in at the 5, roaming the paint. And both free throws good from Freak. Warriors. Leading by 3. It's now been a decade since the Minnesota Timberwolves played postseason basketball. Last trip to the postseason for the Wolves back in 2004.
Wow, that was a long time ago. And if you're wondering, that is the longest playoff drought in the league currently. Wolves want nothing more than to get back to playing playoff basketball, and featuring the #1 pick in last year's draft will help.
Good way to start, you're right. He feeds it to Towns. To the middle. There's Freak. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2.
And, you know, even though the Wolves have been out of the playoffs so long, you get the sense it won't be too much longer. They've got a really nice core to build around, and I think could be special, especially Andrew Wiggins.
And as you mentioned, the Wolves could be back in the playoffs in due time. They are headed in the right direction. Some mistakes have been made along the way, but you have to like their future now.
The Warriors making a switch here. Bogut's checked in, and both free throws good from Freak. You can point to any number of things, Clark, the Warriors did well last year. Their play on the road being one of them.
Well, the Warriors were exactly road warriors all season long, partner. Hit the ground running and finished with the league best 28 road wins. A little bit of a defensive breakdown there. He's not the guy you want to leave open on the perimeter. You've got to stay attached to him.
Garnett, the screen. Freak dishes to Rubio. Out of bounds, Timberwolves ball as Minnesota keeps possession. Second quarter of action, about a minute and a half played. Just 5 to shoot. Here's Freak. Timberwolves keep it alive. Towns, the pass to Rubio. Poked away. Curry with the steal. On the wing, Thompson. Minnesota with the rebound.
And for the Warriors, they would go on several road trips undefeated last season. Still, the only time they looked vulnerable were games on the road.
Curry against Rubio. And the wide open shot from Green. Oh, and that one had the right spit on it, and it is good.
Yeah, quick trigger. And from that range, if he senses the defenders have backed off, forget about it.
And, you know, with the Warriors on the road, they would occasionally dig a hole they couldn't get out of. Still, hard to critique a team that was so dominant in every facet of the game last season, even on the road.
Shot clock at 6. Now here's Freak, guarded by Kerr. The Timberwolves again can't hit. Warriors leading by 8. In the corner, Iguodala with it. Back to Curry. Kicks to Bogut. Down low, here's Iguodala, and the officials whistle a foul on the shot. The bucket's good. He'll go to the line. Minnesota making some changes. Adrian Payne's checked in for Garnett. And it's Muhammad in for Freak. And Golden State also making it. Both teams making substitutions here. And we've reached halftime in this one. Warriors ahead, up by 15. And now we'll send it down to Doris Burke, who's standing by courtside.
Thank you, Kevin. Andre, what has been the underlying principle of how you and the team have taken the floor tonight?
Communication. Communication doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but in order for us to be a good team, everyone has to be on the same page, and we're doing it tonight.
Andre, thank you. Kevin, one of those intangibles you always look to.
Thank you, Doris. And folks, don't go away after the break. We'll see you right back here for the start of the second half in the third quarter. Well, it's been a one-sided affair so far through the first two quarters, but there's plenty of time to mount a comeback.
Just absolute domination in this one for Thompson. He has 18 points, and he's added a steal to his stat line also.
You know what? The number is not huge, but he has been doing some valuable.
Timberwolves trail by 18. Now here's Freak. In the corner, it's Wiggins. Now the feed to Freak. Garnett with the screen for Freak. Down low. Shot clock at 6. And the pass to Levine. Timberwolves passing it around. He dishes it to Towns. Pass to Freak. Here's Garnett. Shakes off the strong D and gets the bucket for 2. Garnett's got 6 points.
You know, when you're bad or struggling in the West, things can go south in a hurry. I mean, the Wolves ended with the worst record in the league last year at 16-66, and a lot of those losses came in their confidence.
Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time getting the lid off the basket so far.
Freak kicks to Levine. And a wide open look here for Wiggins. And Draymond Green picks up the foul. 1:51 left in the fourth quarter. Setting the floor for the Warriors. They've got Festus Ezeli. Maurice Spates out there with Bogut. Then it's Green. And it's Barnes. And at the point guard position. Warriors leading by 23. To the left side wing. Back to Green. And the layup goes down.
Another gap in the defense found there, and they've really had their number today. And so it's going to end up in the record books as a blowout, a dominating performance for the Warriors.
You're right, Steve. It was a standout performance across the board. They were just, at times, seemed toying with it.
Yeah, like watching a cat play with a mouse, Kevin, quite honestly. They were able to do more or less whatever they wanted to do.
And now, for the year, this is going to take them to 7 wins.
And at key points in this game, they stayed committed to their brand of basketball. That's why they'll be taking the front end of this 3-game season series against the Timberwolves.
And what a huge standout performance it was for Curry. He affected the game so much with the way he was able to come out and get steals and extra possessions for his team.
There's Freak. Hits the three-point bomb.
And they're on the kind of run that could have made a difference had it just started a little earlier.
Yeah, but I think the only reason they're on this run is because the defense has relaxed a little bit, knowing the game is basically in the bag.
Now here's Barnes. D right on him. Clock at 6. From deep. Whoops, there's the 24-second shot clock violation, so they'll turn it over. 20 seconds left in the fourth. Here's Freak. There's the pick. Puts it up from 17, off target. So we see the Warriors taking the game here. This crowd was stunned by the manner in which their team was dismantled.
Yes, Kevin, thank you.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Thank you, Kevin. And now let's move on to the presentation of our Jordan Player of the Game, Stephen Curry. He came out of the locker room at halftime and was immediately on fire. That third quarter was his, and he did not hesitate. And that wraps things up, folks. Thanks for joining us. For Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, Kevin Harlan, and the...
What a life, eh, freak? 1 minute you're playing 21 and horse on the courts in Harlem, and the next moment you're in the showroom, configuring the gunmetal and graphite exterior of your luxury car and your iPad mini. Oh, I bet you get a crazy crowd when you drive that car around the block in the old neighborhood, huh?
Yeah, I'm living the dream. Mad pandemonium. But folks from back around the way are real proud of me.
Yeah, I hear you. Local kid makes good. You know, it kind of reminds me of when I took my tech stock public and I rang the New York Stock Exchange bell, and my mom's friends called her up and said, "Maggie, is that your son on Bloomberg News this morning ringing the bell?" And my mom says, "Yes, sirree, Bob, it was him." That was a great moment, freak. And you know, our lives are like a pearl necklace of great moments, all strung together with the finest silk thread of memories. And we have to be very careful how we cultivate those pearls and we thread that necklace.
Does this meeting by any chance have to do with Vic Van Leer?
I grew up in the burbs, freak. I wasn't poor, upper middle class, comfortable. My daddy worked as an accountant for one of the largest insurance firms in the country. Smart with his money. Mom didn't have to work. I went to boarding school. And my dad died of a heart attack when I was a freshman at MIT. I was a movie geek, wanted to be a civil engineer, but I made my fortune by becoming a hybrid of both those interests. My dad didn't want me to be an accountant. Oh, listen to this. My best friend was a guy named Isidore. Yeah, we called him Izzy. He was one of the smartest human beings I have ever met in my life. I mean, Izzy was taking second-year college calculus courses as a high school sophomore, right? Straight-A student, full ride to MIT. Izzy had the world at his fingertips. But he was always looking for trouble, and trouble found him. He ran with the wrong crowd. And when we got to MIT, he got this great job working for a financial consulting firm in Boston. But every weekend, he would fly to Vegas. You see, Izzy had a system for counting cards in Vegas that had the big casinos on the Strip. Oh, stymied. He would come back to MIT with suitcases filled with $200,000 in cold cash.
What?
Yeah.
So your man Izzy was getting hit off like that?
Like a fat rat in a cheddar cheese factory, freak.
Okay, so what happened to this dude Izzy? Because he's dope.
No, not dope. Dead. After he'd been missing for 3 weeks, the Nevada State Police never found hide nor hair of Isidore. And our friendship took a hit when he asked me to hang out with him in Vegas, and I said I wouldn't do it because I knew he was on a dark and twisted path in his life. And yes, he was my dude. But no way was I gonna throw my life away trying to show my loyalty to a guy who really and truly didn't understand what loyalty was all about.
So this meeting is about Vic.
Correctamente.
Okay, well, sir, Vic isn't Izzy.
And why's that, freak?
Well, for one thing, You and your dead friend Izzy didn't grow up poor. Me and Vic grew up in a neighborhood where we had to look over our shoulder every 2 seconds to make sure nobody was going to walk up on us and rob us.
True. Izzy and I did not grow up in the hood. But we, like you, thankfully grew up in a two-parent household. But even that wasn't enough for Izzy. He wasn't satisfied. He was always looking for a 5-alarm fire when he already had the warmth and comfort of a loving family. This is not about class warfare, freak. This is about the consequences of making bad choices and risking it all when you feel like you have nothing to lose.
Vic is like a brother to me, sir.
But you shouldn't be Brother Vic's keeper, freak. Would a brother go looking for trouble and put your career and your livelihood at risk by getting into fights at nightclubs and seedy after-hour joints and then scream to the media, yeah, it's all good, I'm an FOF, friendo freak. It's all misunderstanding. Y'all be haters, don't hate my game. I don't think a brother would do that to someone they really cared about, but a guy who looked at you like a meal ticket would.
No. So you don't understand Vic.
Really? I don't understand.
No.
Look, man, it was a misunderstanding with the guy in the next VIP booth. His honey started flirting with me, so naturally I started flirting back. Next thing I know, Captain Cornball's all over my grill piece beefing. Next thing he know, he got a 2-piece and a biscuit on his left eye. Hey, I don't know who hit him. And it damn sure wasn't me. Hey, Captain Cornball's mad because I'm an FOF, friend of freak. Hey, but check this out, though. He needs to train that hottie before he leave the house, though. Yo, he's hot as ain't loyal, man.
What's there to understand? Are you freaking blind? You know, I just want to know, how much did you pay your lawyers to make all this go away?
Almost $100,000.
Excuse me, son, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I said I paid almost $100,000.
Exactly. And if you keep riding shotgun with Vic, you're gonna go broke. Quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Look, Vic is my friend, and I grew up with him. How many times I gotta tell you, sir?
Freak, this is not a request. I am not asking you to do this. I am telling you to do this. And the first order of business is that Mr. Vic Van Leer is banned from traveling with you on the road. Vic is banned from the locker room. And Vic is banned from this arena. And if I catch this guy, Vic, in or anywhere near the facilities, Mr. Vic Van Leer will be arrested for trespassing.
Are you serious, sir?
Brother, I'm as serious as cancer. We all know that can be deadly.
You know, when me and Vic were kids, playing summer tournaments at the Dome, we always imagined making it to the pros, right? And after the crowds left, just a street light was on the court, like 11:30, 12 midnight, even 1 in the morning sometimes. We used to practice player introductions, running on the court, giving dap, high-fiving the teammates. Vic, he would act as an announcer. You know, he would introduce me and announce my name on the loudspeaker, and the Jumbotron would flash my image like a little guy dressed in long shorts and a jersey. And now, fresh off his 3-game, 62-point scoring streak, the youngest player to ever do so in NBA history, Frequency Vibrations. So me and Vic would sit in those empty bleachers at the Dome and dream like nobody's business. And now I'm living a dream. For real. And in so many ways, Vic was part of that.
Please, listen to me. I mean, I know this guy's your dude from way back.
Look, me and Vic go way back like the front seats of a 67 Cadillac.
That's good. We go way back. Did you say front seats?
Front seats of a 67 Cadillac.
We go way back like the front seats of a 67 Cadillac. Well, do you have any crickets? I'm going to be the hit once again at Herbie Allen's Sun Valley Shindig because my fellow billionaires love it when I walk and talk that talk.
So that almost sounds...
No, let me tell you exactly what it sounds like. I respect, admire, and most importantly, love you as a human being and a role model. But I pay you a lot. And I mean, I pay you a lot of money to play for my team. And I am in this game to win it. And you can't win it with an albatross around your neck like Vic. So Vic is done. History. And here's some more lingo that I picked up from a former megastar who used to play for me several seasons ago. Thought I would never release him until I did. And now he's the sixth man on a struggling team in Venice. And yeah, I'm talking Venice with the canals and the gondolas and Harry's bar, not the street ballers next to the fortune tellers on the beach in Cali. This guy used to tell me when he thought there was a player destroying our team, don't be a hero, cut that zero. And that is what I am telling you about Vic, freak. Don't be a hero, cut that zero. The only thing Vic brings into your life is headache and unwanted and unnecessary negative attention. And it will begin to affect your mindset. And when it affects your mindset, it's going to affect your play. And when it affects your play, it's going to affect my team. And when it affects my team, it's going to affect my money. And if it affects my money, Google Translate will become your new freaking friend. I want a championship ring, freak, and I want you to help me get that ring. And banners after banners hanging from the rafters in this arena. So, freak, hear me clearly and hear me good. V, G, Vic, gotta go. Handle your business. And remember, that contract you signed contains a morality clause, a very important clause that revolves around your conduct on and off the court and how it can negatively impact my team. Now, I don't want you to have to learn Italian or Croatian as a second language. And hey, playing pro ball overseas, there's nothing wrong with that. But the arenas are nothing like this, nor will the money be the same. And on top of all of that, this is the U.S. of A., the greatest freaking country in the world. Ask yourself, is Vic worth all that? Think about it. Think long, think wrong.
Tell you about Vic. He has his bad rap. It's not, and I understand some of his judgments might shadow his actual character. He's not that at all. Man, Vic, let me tell you something. We actually, we have love for each other. We're brothers. Blood couldn't make us any closer at all. I mean, he has so much loyalty to me and to my family. You could see even Cece, has issues with him, but he still loves her. He still loves her.